Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and put a video together of a piece of gear that I don't think I spent too much time showing you guys. I think I did a video real quick of a highlight of it, and amongst other things I do as a worship leader when I was a worship leader. But I never really focused on this piece of equipment. I'm a composer, music writer myself, and I had the blessed opportunity of leading a worship team for quite some time. And it was a blessing. I would never take it back. It was just awesome. And it taught me a lot of things. So what I wanted to do was explain to you some of the challenges, some of the blessings that I was able to receive when I was in that ministry. First and foremost, if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you've been called into this ministry. There's something about why you're in it. I just want to reflect back to John chapter 4, where Jesus made it very clear that God is searching. That's an active word, guys. Searching for a worshiper in truth and in spirit. Because since God is truth and spirit, that we should be worshiping such as that. So if there's anything that you're trying to fix because of the condition of your heart or anything on your platform, first go ahead and take care of that according to what God looks for. With your heart towards the Lord, and make sure that your love for what you're doing is based upon that. So I won't get preachy. The bottom line is that as I was in that ministry, there was a lot of challenges that popped up. One of them being is that, well, you have musicians that have a life. Things happen. People get sick. They have kids. In some cases, they got schooling they have to do. So you have to really find different ways to improvise the lack of, be it a bass player, maybe a keyboard player, or an acoustic player. Me being a lead guitarist, an electric guitar player, I was able to somewhat accommodate those dynamics if I didn't have one. The one, though, that I could not, under any circumstance, try to find a fix was a drummer. The drummer was the one thing that really brought the challenge out of how do I remedy to this in case something happens. And in the time frame that I was doing the ministry I was doing, it came to that season where all of a sudden I didn't have a drummer. I had to find a way to fix the situation. How do I go ahead and present worship on the following Sunday to a congregation without them really feeling that there's a hiccup or there's a lack of something to kind of just take away from the dynamic? So I did a lot of research, and sure enough, I found out that there's a lot of different ways of doing it. Of course, you can go and spend thousands and try to go into the track system and a high-end computer and so forth, but that wasn't an option for me. I had to find a cost-effective way of doing it, but at the same time, I don't want something that sounds really cheesy and sounds something really, you're playing on a Casio keyboard or, something like a $75 toy or anything. So I ran into what's called the Beat Buddy. This pedal, I went ahead and looked on it, and I saw that a couple worship leaders were actually using this. So went ahead at that time, obtained a Beat Buddy, and what blew me away first and foremost, I was skeptical, I'm not going to lie to you, but what blew me away was the authenticity of that sound, the fills, the intros, the outros, the way that you can actually go between verses and chorus. And not only that, but the control that I had just by a flick of a switch by my foot. So I went ahead and implemented it, put it in, and within a few Sundays, it was part of our dynamic. It was not really hindering us. It flowed well. And most importantly, it didn't sound fake. And it was so cost effective. So I want to go ahead and show you a couple of audio clips. I don't have video clips, so I found a couple of audio clips of me using it on a live setting, obviously a Sunday service, during a worship service, as a matter of fact. And you can hear how the drum line just flowed. It just sounded, it dynamically sounded full. It filled in. And to be honest with you, a lot of people were approaching me wondering how this little pedal worked, and because they saw me stomping on the button switching between verse and chorus. But it was cool to see people kind of wondering, where was this drummer, because we didn't see one. So here's a couple of audio clips I'm going to show you. Take a listen, it won't be long, and you can see how we used it live.
That's what you're worthy of, Lord. All praise, all glory, all honor, Lord. You are the God and the name above all names. Hallelujah.
Sing, 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 and make music with the heavens. We will sing, sing, sing. Grateful that you hear us when we shout your praise. Behind the name of Jesus. make music with the heavens. We will sing, sing, sing. Grateful that you hear us when we shout your praise. By the name of Jesus.
Morning, we just reflect back to you the words of adoration, any good achievements that we've done, and we give you thanks, we give you praise, and all of God's people said amen.
Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. My God is greater. My God is stronger. God, you were higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
All right, so now you know how we used it, how it sounded, the dynamic behind it. I mean, it really was full. It was rich. And to be honest with you, I compose a lot of music of my own, and I have thousands of loops, and I still go back to the Beat Buddy to compose a lot of my music. So what I want to do is just show you a couple of the settings that it has and how you can go ahead and use it in your ministry. To be very honest with you, what I loved about it, believe it or not, the authenticity was outstanding, but it was the freedom of being able to do what I had to do and not be locked down. So I was able to go ahead, and if all of a sudden I feel that the congregation's really connecting in a worship, at that moment, I can go ahead and just repeat the chorus again, and the drummer would know exactly where I'm at, right? My foot pedal, the Beat Buddy, and be able to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do a song, very simple. It's a very common hymn that a lot of churches uses, I Exalt Thee. And what I did was, just to show that there was no special programming or anything like that, I actually have on the Beat Buddy, which I recommend if you have this, explore it a little bit. I'm a big fan of the pack. I believe they still have it on their website you could purchase, of the Ballad pack. It just has a really beautiful, authentic kind of rim shot that you can use and actually play along with it, and then the verse and chorus and so forth. So what you're going to hear, I didn't program, it's an actual default setting. If you get that pack, for example, and it's called Ballad 10. And for I Exalt Thee, it works really, really well. So this is not about my singing or anything, so yeah, I might be a little flat or off or anything, but just so you get an idea of how it is. So here's Ballad 10. I'm going to go ahead and do a few things here and just show you. When the Beat Buddy is going, or on standby, ready to go, if you hit it once, it'll start up with a fill. Now it's going into whatever segment you want it to go into. So maybe you start off a song and you're talking to the congregation. The cool part about this is while this is going, I can hit it at any point in time and the fill is going to go ahead and go according to that bar, into that measure. So you don't have to worry about talking and, oh my God, am I going to hit it at the right time? Just within the same beat. You don't have to worry about any kind of timing or anything like that. So the beat's going, you're able to play it out, and based on where the verse is and everything, really allows you to focus more on the music while the drum is still keeping everyone in time. So I'll go ahead and do a little bit of the song so you can get a feel for it of how I do it. In midst of it, again, while the music's going, you hit it once, it'll do a fill. And again, I just hit it at any random spot, so I really didn't have to worry about timing. Of course, when you're playing, you're in a certain time, right? So now I'll go into a chorus, and I could hear the snare kicking in. Now you have more of a ride on there, so you can get a feel of the different segments that the Beat Buddy has. Let's go back to the verse. Idea. You keep on going through the song itself, and you can actually talk to the congregation. While you're sharing and you know that the timing's still there, good chance for your musician to keep up. Let's go into the verse or the chorus. Now the drum stops, the timing is still there. And I exalt thee, and I exalt thee. Oh, oh, Lord. Now I'm going to go back in. And I exalt thee, a Savior, and I exalt thee, you are Master, and I exalt thee. Oh, Lord. I'm going to end it now by hitting it twice. You can see it was very effortlessly. It was able to flow through it. And obviously anywhere in there I can change it. So what's really cool about this is that that is a standard setting of that preset, Ballad 10. They actually have the software free that you can download, and you can arrange the song in any way, shape. I mean, if you want the song to be 20 minutes long and have 38 verses and 17 different types of choruses with 12 bridges. I mean, you're going all out, right? It's very, very easy to do. Very easy. Again, the setting on this is easy to use as far as when you hit it once, starts it off. While the song is going, you hit it once for different fill-ins. You can put as many fill-ins as you want. You hold it down to go into the next measure, and maybe it's more of a snare with a ride. What I like though a lot is actually the side pedal, the actual extension, because of course when you're doing it, you got the band going. All of a sudden, you're just ending it. Boom, you got it. So no problem. Now, what's cool about it, though, too, as far as extension, and I'm not sure if you can clearly see it, it says Ballad 2. So this actually, while you're in the middle of songs, right, you're worried about, okay, well, fine, Joe, how do you go ahead and go to the next song? Through the edit, you can actually set it up, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. You can set it up in any way you want. A lot of times, to be honest with you, ballad or any kind of rock ones with the right BPM will fit, but this will solve so many problems. So if you look, I mean, right from here, I could switch it. So I'm going to go back to 10. Now we're there because the controller, the external pedal, actually controls the actual scrolling through the different presets. But again, the crash, you can actually go ahead and play with if you're really having that dramatical ending. So it's very easy to use. And of course, maybe your pastor comes back up and he's about to go in prayer and you want to bring it back up. Very easy. Hit the button again. Now we're good to go. Go back in our chorus. Go back and everyone sing that. Pastor's done singing. We're going to calm it down. And you get the point, and you keep on going into it. So this pedal actually helped out in so many different ways in how we were putting music together. We didn't have to worry about timing. We didn't have to worry about syncopation. The pedal probably alleviated on my behalf of trying to figure out the challenges there of keeping a timing and percussion, alleviated at least a good 70 to 75% of the frustration or not the challenge, problem solving of how to get this done. So guys, if you guys are worship leaders and you're trying to find that fill-in, maybe your drummer can only do it when once a month, or whatever the case is to fill it in. I cannot recommend this any more than I already do. This thing is amazing. It helped out on so many levels in bringing the band together, keeping us in time, not to mention to be able to free flow, to come in and out of any part of the song that we needed to. And most importantly, which really is the part that got me, was that the congregation didn't feel the effects of that challenge, didn't feel the effects of it. They were still able to go ahead and worship the way their hearts want to worship on any given Sunday. So there's many different ways of doing this. There's different ways of routing it into your soundboard. That's probably a different video altogether. But again, I can't recommend this any more than I already do. This pedal is amazing, and it'll help you guys out. If you're a guitarist, you're trying to learn your timing with the song, right? and all of a sudden you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and practice not till Friday with the band. Guys, if you're a guitarist or even a keyboardist, this is it. There's a good chance that there's already a rhythm, a beat that needs to be practiced. I mean, if you need to go ahead and do a song, you know, and you know it goes a little bit faster, so that's fine. That's it. Now you just speed it up, and there was no interruption on the drums. Now you're able to practice the song out, right? So you get the idea. So this actually helps you out with your timing. It's not just for trying to find a solution in the sense of trying to go ahead and I got to fill up the drummer's side or anything like that. This is also an awesome tool to work with your timing. I think a lot of us can agree that, you know, having a metronome, that can only help so much because you kind of lose that energy that you would get when you're playing with the drummer. I mean, right now, just by the beat. So now we have just a rim shot, and I haven't changed the set. This is the same one we were using, but you can already hear that there's a different dynamic. Simple as that. And again, that was just one song. All I did was change the tempo on it, but you can see how it had a different dynamic. We went from a hymnal, you know, I Exalte, and we were able to beat it up a little bit, bring it up, and now we have this energetic song. You know, for copyright reasons, I won't play any of the other songs that we would have normally done, but you get the idea. So, guys, again, if you have any questions about this or anything, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick the edit tool that we use. Just so you have a better idea of how I actually put it together. All right, so here is the edit software that comes free. You can actually download this, and what's really cool is, in my case, my MacBook actually has an SD card slot. So on the Beat Buddy, I'm able to actually take out the SD card and put it on my MacBook and work directly off of it. But it's really simple to put together, guys. I mean, you have an intro. You know, you pretty much choose the intro you want to go ahead and put on there. It'll bring you there. And then once you choose the intro, the Beat Buddy automatically, depending on the tempo you have, it'll do it according to the time signature you have in tempo. It'll go through here and immediately go into your verse. I call this a verse, right? The first part of the song. These are all fill-ins. So every time you hit a fill-in, it'll go ahead and bounce. So you'll never have the same one. If you want to have 6 fill-ins, well, God bless you, knock yourself out. But, you know, in my case, I like to have basically 2 or 3. That's enough because I'm normally not in the verse that long. And then transition. You also have basically transitions right here, and you can see that it's actually explained here. So here's a transition. This transition, when you hold the pedal down, will automatically bring you into what I like to call the chorus. So this right here will automatically start playing out, and then on this chorus, you have 3 fill-ins. It won't repeat the earlier fill-ins, what gives it that authenticity, that really cool sound. On this side, the accent hint, that's on the pedal. That's right here. So that's this here. So you, believe it or not, there's actually other options you can put on there for that fill. It's kind of cool for the accent hit. So, and then again, once you're done with this line and you hold the pedal down, it will go back up to the verse. I call it a verse. So that one song I just did for you, the Ballad 10, we were able to just briefly, I did a hymnal and then I did a real quick other song. All I did was change the tempo, and it already had a different feel to the music. So imagine here on the left side, there's at least on the stock of the Beat Buddy, when you get it, there's hundreds and hundreds of different combinations you can make. That's not to mention some of the ones you can actually download from their website. That's outstanding. So the combination of how you want to do your song and how you edit it is completely up to you, which is what I loved about this pedal. So if I want to go ahead and actually do some kind of a rock song, but give it kind of a blues kind of feel in the verse, I can actually choose the blues recordings, the blues segments that you see on there, and plug it in anywhere I want. So although it's a drummer, I'm technically writing my own song using the Beat Buddy. The only thing that's hindering it is my imagination, how I actually go along with it. So that's the edit software, and I could go into exact detail about it, but the truth is that it all depends on what you want to put together, and maybe I'll do another video with the edit software. But this thing has really been a blessing to us and saved us a lot. I went ahead and did a couple of songs myself. Nothing is Impossible, Your Grace Is Enough, the Anthem song. There was a lot of different songs I went ahead and decided to put together for we using the editor, and I think I was able to put a song together, one song within 5-10 minutes once I got to know the Beat Buddy, and it won't take you long, guys. So you have a lot of guitars that have different pedals, different effects, and so forth. If you're a worship leader or in that ministry, this is a must-have. I guarantee you won't go wrong with it. This thing is amazing. And then once again, the biggest part of your job as a worship leader is to serve your congregation. So when challenges pops up, life happens. I get it. I've been there, done that. You want to have a standby, plan B, or maybe even use it as your permanent rig until God brings you a drummer. But, this little drummer will always stay on time, will always be faithful to you, and will always follow your lead by just stomping your feet. So it'll be able to go ahead and do that for you. If you guys have any questions or anything, please feel free to shoot me out an email. Be happy to answer them as I get a chance to. And then if there's anything that I'm missing that maybe you guys want me to show off or, show how I do it, please feel free to. So again, this is a pedal that has multiple ways of being routed into your signal chain. I know that's going to probably be one of the biggest questions. That is a very subjective way for me to respond to that, because there's so many different ways of doing it. In my case, it was just a simple routing to my pedal board. So again, any questions or anything, let me know. I hope this helped you guys out, and I pray from the depth of my heart that if you guys decide to go down this route of getting this pedal, that the frustrations at times that you may feel because of maybe scheduling conflict, or maybe you just don't have a drummer, that this helps you out in any way, shape, or form. Because I can tell you right now firsthand, I remember the first few Sundays I used it, and I think a couple times I got choked up because I realized that there was one less thing for me to worry about until God decided to bring me a drummer. And this really was able to go ahead and bless the congregation along with me. Not to mention, guys, I'm not going to lie, this is fun. So, again, if you have any questions, shoot me a message or something. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can, okay? God bless you. Take care.